Now, Micah Parsons is receiving a lot of pushback for his comments that he made with the media post-game about his head coach, Mike McCarthy. After the embarrassing 31-6 loss of the Philadelphia Eagles at home, reporters asked him about Coach Mike McCarthy's future in Dallas and what he thinks about that. And here's what he had to say.
You know, that's above my pay grade about if Mike is coaching again next year. But, you know, all coaching aside, coaching, you know, Mike can leave and go wherever he wants. But the guys, I kind of feel bad for is guys like Zach Martin and guys who might be on their last year or on their way out, you know, because that's who I wanted to hold the trophy for. You know, you want to win games and do great things with those type of legends who put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did. So
now, when you hear something like this coming from not only any player, but one of your star players, that is not a good sign at all. This is either a sign that you have lost the locker room as a coach or that you are headed on your way out. And maybe this might just be Micah Parsons, but this is seriously throwing your coach under the bus. And there was a lot of people who had an issue with this, namely Rex Ryan, who talked about this as well on his show.
Deserve that. Mike McCarthy, no coach deserves that because the hours, trust me, my friend, the hours this guy's putting in, no player is putting in the work that a head coach is, I can assure you. And look, you can have some private issue, all right? Go to the owner, go to whoever, go to Mike McCarthy. But why the hell do you think you need to say that why do you need to hurt this man? Who do you think gets blamed for everything? He gets it anyway. And so why are you piling on? All right, yeah, dead man walking. Yeah, he is. But you know what? He's professional as hell. He hadn't once blamed a damn player.
Now, I don't agree with Rex Ryan saying that coaches work harder than any other players as well, too. Listen, man, football is the ultimate team sport. Everybody has to work hard for you guys to be successful. And for people to be comparing who works harder than who, that type of stuff is cancerous for the locker room and quite frankly, cancerous for a team. Everybody has to work hard. Now, I think Rex took these comments specifically personal for a couple of reasons. One being that obviously he was a head coach himself, so he probably knows how it feels to get thrown under the bus by his players. But the other reason is that he was actually rumored to be one of the coaches looked at to become defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys last year. However, it's reported that Rex Ryan turned the role down because he wanted to be a head coach. So I think both of these things together, him putting himself in Mike McCarthy's shoes, seeing that a player's throwing him under the bus, really gets to somebody like Rex Ryan, who's a very animated person and someone who's kind of a loudmouth as well, to a very strong personality. But on the other hand, I don't think this is a good look for Micah Parsons either. You don't want to be throwing your coach under the bus to the media like this. And especially seeing you dapping up Saquon Barkley after the game, looking all chummy after a huge loss like this at home, it just doesn't look good. And I know Saquon and him are buddies from Penn State. They went to school together. They're very, very close. But overall, the whole look, this and the post interview doesn't look good at all. But Micah Parsons did address this on his podcast later on, and this is what he had to say.
I look at a situation like, Dan, Dan's like an uncle to me, and at the end of the day, Dan can always do what's best for him. I always knew he was a great coach. I never questioned his coaching ability, but, he decided to take on a better job. Who knows at the end of this year, Mike is one of the most winningest coaches in NFL history, and that's the God honest truth. We went 12-5 3 years in a row. That don't happen because Mike's a bad coach, because he's a good coach. And just because one person has trial and error in 1 year, that just doesn't define him.
Now, I personally think it's too late to put this locker room back together. It's clearly divided. It's spilt milk now. Micah Parsons said what he said, and it's out there. And he can say that he wasn't trying to throw his coach under the bus, but those comments, that quote is pretty clear. It's as clear as it gets. Let's be honest. That shit is as clear as it gets. But this is the Dallas Cowboys, so the drama does not end there. Jerry loves to be the center of attention and the biggest spotlight in the media. And him and Ceedee Lamb went back and forth over media over the glaring issue that is at Cowboys Stadium and that huge window that lets sun in, with Ceedee Lamb criticizing the sun coming through the window and saying that was the reason why he dropped the touchdown pass, just because he clearly just couldn't see. The sun was blasting in his face. What was he supposed to do, right? And this is a glaring oversight. How do you build a $1.2 billion stadium and have such a glaring oversight like this where you don't even at least close the curtains when your team is facing the sunlight? I don't understand how that makes any sense. Anyways, Jerry responded to this as well too. This is what he had to say.
So we do know where the damn sun's going to be in our own stadium.
Why not put the curtains up?
Why not mitigate that?
What?
The sun and CD's
Well, let's
eyes.
just tear the damn stadium down and build another one. You kidding me?
But it's not, you don't have to go that way.
Everybody's got the same thing. Every team that comes in here has the same issues. They know where the sun's going to be. So every team has the same thing.
So is it more on Mike not understanding where the sun is and not calling
I'm saying the world knows where the sun is. You get to know that almost a year in advance. So someone asked me about the sun, and what about the sun? Where's the moon?
Of course, in typical Jerry fashion, he just kind of brushes it off. And listen, man, I think it's time for Jerry to hang it up, man. This guy has got to retire or get someone to replace him at some point, because the way Jerry has been running the Dallas Cowboys has just not been beneficial for Cowboys fans, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you are not a Dallas Cowboys fan, you are laughing, because the Dallas Cowboys never fail to entertain, whether they are winning or losing. There's always something funny about the Dallas Cowboys. But if you're a Cowboys fan, man, you really must be going through it right now. And to finish up the Cowboys news for today, Dak Prescott is confirmed to be out for the rest of the season after undergoing a season-ending surgery on his torn hamstring, which makes sense. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys are 3-6. He was originally thought to be out for 3 to 6 weeks, and they were going to review it and see how it goes. But with the season going downhill the way it has right now, it doesn't even make sense for Dak to come back. You might as well just get the season-ending surgery, come back next year stronger, and plan for next year. So yep, that's everything for the Dallas Cowboys. Hopefully they can get their shit together, but with Jerry Jones being the GM, that's most likely not going to happen.